Hello YouTube. I decided to make this video on Guild Wars versus WoW because I think that Guild Wars should have more of a fair chance. Because I will explain the pros and the cons instead of just graphics and gameplay. Because that's really what it's about. I decided to make this mainly because the more along the lines of pros and cons weren't really touched, and people just really cried about gameplay and graphics, which basically is not the same crap. I've played both games long enough to know about everything. So I've actually done my homework on the games. I have played Guild Wars Nightfall and almost completed it, and almost completed Guild Wars Eye of the North. I have not started Prophecies or Factions because I don't have them. But Guild Wars Nightfall basically shows most of the stuff. As I continue, please note that this is more about pros and cons than graphics and leveling and all that other stuff. The pros about World of Warcraft: a high level cap, but here's a con about it, about the level cap. The level cap does not really show that after you reach it, that's just the end of the leveling for you. Because with every coming expansion, you gain about 10 to 5 levels. So it just makes the game a little bit harder. Plus, these bosses called world bosses that are extremely higher than you, and it takes like a raid to destroy them. But more pros about it. Gameplay, I'd at least give it a good 8 out of 10. It's kind of good. Kind of laggy, though. Skills are basically the same look. And what I've noticed that most people haven't really talked about the talents for WoW. WoW's talents really just suck. You only get 3, and if you screw up, you really can't go back. And if you do, you really kind of screw up your build. And after a while, it's just a fail. But also with talents, you can add more abilities, but basically still, all the abilities look the same for your class. Well, the mount, also another pro is you get mounts, but the con is you have to pay thousands of gold to get flying mounts, and to get riding mounts you have to pay, now I think it's like 2 gold, I think, for the normal mount at level 20 now, and at level 30 no, I'm not sure if it's 30. I think it's 40. I'm not really sure because I haven't played in a while. But it costs like 10 gold. When I played my paladin, though, my level 76, it was way higher. But yeah. After reaching a certain point, though, it just gets nearly impossible to level. And you see yourself just doing quest after quest, barely gaining EXP to level. The gear kind of looks cool, but it's still usually the same weapon and armor skins. Well, builds, but different skins. After that, it's just higher levels start getting really boring. Then, also, you gotta pay $15 a month to play it. Plus, you have to buy the expansions and the actual game, which ends up piling up. While to Guild Wars, it's free after you buy the expansion. And it's much more tolerable. time for the Guild Wars pros cons. Guild Wars pros are stunning graphics. They're just really stunning. And the cinematics that they have, awesome. A con about it is if you uninstall the game and you reinstall it and you start playing again, it's really laggy after the first bit. But on my computer, I barely lag. But oh well. Also, if you're playing Guild Wars after that, you really start to notice that the map also evolves as you go throughout the campaign. The entire world changes. It's just awesome. And in town, and you can't be killed by other players like in the World of Warcraft game, because then if you're trying to grind and level, you can't, because there's players just spawn camping you the entire time, instead of where you can just respawn at a certain point and revive at towns and outposts and resurrection areas. But the main con about that is the death penalty, which weakens your character. It goes up to 60%, which basically brings your character's stat level down to about the base of what you started at, level 1. But as you get stronger, you die less, unless you're a caster class, and you don't really have good armor. But overall, it's fun after that. Still, once you reach a certain level, it just starts really getting easy. Especially when you start getting far into campaigns of Guild Wars, when the storyline really starts to put everything together. As everyone in the Guild Wars world knows, the class choice is fun. And though you only get one race, you're not limited to like a certain class. Like in World of Warcraft, you have to choose a certain race to be a certain class. And I expect that when Guild Wars 2 does come out, and you get the Char, Asura, Norn, and Dwarves to play along with humans, the game's going to get definitely more fun. But, oh well. I still think WoW is slightly better in armor graphics, but that's only because you don't have to work to get your armor. You can just buy it easily. While in Guild Wars, you actually have to work for your armor, which makes it a lot more challenging to play, which I like a challenge. Also, with Guild Wars, when you reach level 20, it kind of ticks me off that the mobs are way higher than you, and they're nearly impossible to kill when they come in large numbers, like in Eye of the North and the Destroyers. They are extremely hard to kill. I've wiped with a party of like 8, and most were players. Yeah. Also, I hate that when they're immune to an ability, you still can't use it on them. So you have to make a specific build for specific missions. Also, Guild Wars gets I'd probably at least say near 1,000 skills, and each one differs from another. And it's just way better. Well, yeah, graphics definitely go to not World of Warcraft, but Guild Wars. World of Warcraft's graphics kind of suck. Even the mobs kind of suck. They're just the same mob with different skins and higher levels. But oh well. Yeah, that's just it. Those are my pros and cons. Guild Wars, FTW, WoW. You can go to hell, really. Yeah. That's it.